Colin Cowherd on his show on Fox Sports Radio said that he thinks, he called it the worst kept secret in the South, that the Browns plan on pairing Arch Manning with Nick Saban, and goes back to family ties with Saban, his agent, with the Manning family. Todd McShay of The Ringer said he talked about another team that also has 2 first-round picks in 2026, and that is the L.A. Rams, because McShay says that Les Snead, who is the GM of the Rams, his son is a close friend of Arch at Texas. And now, I don't know, he's not going to pair Arch Manning and the Rams with Nick Saban involved in this, but Colin is saying it's Nick Saban with the Browns, and that Arch Manning, that would be the reason that maybe he would come back and coach. So I guess that you have Les Snead and his son, a long snapper at Texas, and a friend of Arch Manning. The Rams have 2 first-round picks in the draft, and so do the Cleveland Browns. But if I'm Nick Saban, what am I, 73? I got my legacy. Seems like you're enjoying what you do on College Game Day. He won a Sports Emmy for his contributions. But if you're coming back, why would you go to – now, I understand the fan base with the Browns, and he was an assistant coach there with Bill Belichick, but you're going to get a rookie quarterback, and it's going to take time for him to develop, even if you get Arch Manning. I mean, yes, you have 2 first-round picks, but would that be enough with that owner in Cleveland that you would come back and you would coach in the NFL? Yeah, Paulie.
Actually, when I heard this rumor and I heard it on Colin's show, to me it makes a ton of sense. I don't know if it's a report or just a speculative discussion about Saban, but I don't believe Nick Saban wanted to stop coaching. I think he clearly got very sick of the direction of college football, and I believe that the NFL is the opposite of college football. College football is the Wild West with NIL and collectives and the new pay structure. The NFL is very rigid. There's no recruiting. You don't really recruit. You have a pay structure that's completely – you don't have to even deal with as the head coach. It's all the things he doesn't want to deal with in college, you don't have to deal with in the NFL. You just coach the team. It sounds very attractive to Nick Saban, even at the age of 73, because these guys, they just coach. That's what they do.
And I don't know if this was a case of, hey, it didn't work out with the Dolphins. Now I want to go back and prove that I can coach in the NFL. I mean, does Bill Belichick have to prove he can coach in college? I guess. But it doesn't seem like those guys have to prove anything, unless it's to themselves. And unless it's Saban saying, you know what, I still want to do this for a few more years. But how long do you want to do it? I think he and Pete Carroll are around the same age, and it feels like we're trending towards younger coaches. And that's what surprises me, that, these guys are control freaks. Saban, you're not controlling a team. You're the head coach of a team. You're controlling a team in college. Once they get on the field, once they put on your uniform, now you're in control. They're all control freaks. But when you get to the NFL, you're not. Yeah, Seton.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it for some reason. Right, unless Nick Saban really has this overwhelming desire to prove to himself that he can coach in the NFL, which so far is pretty unproven, right? I mean, he hasn't coached in the NFL in almost 20 years, and when he did, it was only for like a year or two. And like you said, I don't know that the NFL is trending in the direction of let's bring in an older college football coach.
And there's no downside for the Cleveland Browns. I get that. But if Saban is basing this solely off getting Arch Manning, what are the odds the Browns are going to be this bad to get the number 1 pick, or they're going to trade their 2 first-round picks to get the number 1 pick? Yes, Seton.
Is Nick Saban known as a head coach who develops NFL quarterbacks?
No. Or at least he got quarterbacks who played his style. Then I think it was Lane Kiffin, when he was an assistant coach, said, hey, we got to get some guys who can, be better athletes here.
That's
being
why
polite to.
It seems funny to then be like, hey, I mean, you got the chance. He's going to come along. You got Arch Manning. He's going to develop him. Why? He's never developed quarterbacks. That's not what he does. It's like saying, Tom Brady was so good because he had Bill Belichick running the offense. No, he didn't. Bill Belichick's a defensive-minded coach. That's not what he does at all.
Yeah, Paulie.
I go back to control, and it's weird to say that Nick Saban would have much more control in the NFL than college football these days. There's no transfer portal. Guys can't go year to year and just jump teams unless they have a contract that allows them to. And if you coach in the NFL, you have more. The players are at the whim of the owners and the GMs. We've seen it this week. These players are begging for contracts. In college, the players are wagging the dog. And that's why some of these coaches are getting out. And I think a guy like Nick Saban never wanted to stop coaching. He just got disillusioned with it. And the way station of College Game Day, he probably makes $20 million in 2 years and jump right back in. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I just don't see it. But once again, I have to be fair to Saban maybe having this itch that I want to prove that I can. I don't walk around going, you know what, Saban, great coach, but he couldn't coach in the NFL. I mean, Steve Spurrier couldn't coach in the NFL. It doesn't take away from what he did when he was a college coach. He's one of the greatest coaches of all time, going to different programs and producing winners there. But I understood Belichick, I would not hire Belichick as a coach in the NFL now. And it's not because of off the field with his girlfriend, but that doesn't help him. But I just think he's set in his ways. He wants to run the entire organization. That's why nobody reached out to him. And when he left the Patriots, I said at the time he will not coach in the NFL again. Now, maybe he's a one and done at Carolina. Is somebody going to hire Belichick? Given what's going on now with him, I wouldn't. All that drama? No, not interested.